thing. Huh, window's broken underneath. Alright, YouTube, what's good? So I know I said I wasn't going to do any, let me talk louder. I know I said I wasn't going to do like any how-to videos, but I couldn't help it. I had the urge, I couldn't resist, and two, I need to be making content, to be making money, right? So, hands washes each other, right? So behind me I got is a 2011 Audi A6 3.0. So I know y'all saw this in my vids a couple times, and it came back for a different issue right now, and it has a cylinder misfire. It was the cylinder number 3, but when I was diagnosing it, you know, when you get vehicles with misfires, you can isolate the issue with process of elimination. When I say process of elimination, there's only a few things. It could be a coil pack issue, a spark plug issue, or an actual mechanical issue, or a fuel injector issue. But usually in these cars, it's just mostly always one or two things: a spark plug with a coil pack. So initially I pulled the plugs, and plugs were put in here, and it's just the quality. Don't put auto lights in here. Do not put auto lights. Don't even use auto lights no more. They just, on high mileage engines, they don't like last as long. And these type of engines, spark plugs got to get replaced like every between 30 or 40,000 miles or something like that. That's a low mileage interval compared to like domestic cars that can go almost up to 100, but not exactly, but almost. So pulled the plugs. Spark plugs look like it didn't look right, like it needed to get replaced. So I swapped it in between cylinders on the one bank, and what had happened was nothing happened. So what I did was I swapped the coils from cylinder number 3, which is the one in the back, on facing the front of the vehicle, but in the back on the left side, first bank, all the way in the back is cylinder number 3. And then you got 2, and then you got 1 right there, I believe. That's the firing order is absolutely weird. And then I swapped the coil pack for cylinder number 3 to cylinder number 1. And what had happened? The misfire moved. So what does that mean? So whenever you get a misfire and you can move it in between cylinders, then you isolated your issue. So we have an issue with the coil pack, which the computer did not pick up as like made a code for it. It just made a P0303 cylinder number 3 misfire. So that makes me feel like we don't have any monitors for the coil packs itself, but it is what it is. So I got parts already, the ignition coils, and I got some decent spark plugs. And let's pull it into the side garage, because I already got 2 cars in the garage. It's just a hot mess right now, and we're not going to get into that. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I break it down what's needed or what I had to do to get the job done. And I'm not going to go through details on how to replace this, how to replace that, how to do X, Y, and Z, whatever. I just give you the job straightforward, just like that. Alright, first things first. I already went and did a couple things, but I'll just break it down over for you again or whatever. So make sure you take this off. Why? Because you need to get to this band clamp right here to unscrew it, which I already had did. So there also is a hose in the back of the engine you need to remove. I mean, sorry, not in the back of the engine, the back of the air duct, the intake boot. And this also right here, you're gonna have to clip back on, but I'll put that off to a second. It's no biggie. This comes out, and you're gonna take this part of the air box out, which has 2 clamps on the side of it. I don't need to show you exactly what the clamps look like. They're latching clamps, which means you need to unlatch it. Once you get this off, and you can leave the intake boot on this part of the box on, and what I would do is just pull away, lift up, and should be able to sneak this out entirely. Now, I've done this job multiple times without having to take this box out completely, but you need to separate it from the inner part of the box, like unlatch it and then lift it up, then you'll be able to pull. The problem is these two coil packs, you won't be able to get them out with this air box in the way. And then the same thing applies for this side, the driver's side of the car. But you're going to move the coolant tank reservoir out the way, which is not a problem because it's only held in by one bolt. So let's break it down. Next, we got, since we have full access, let's tuck this somewhere where it's just not in our way, but you could just leave it as is. You got to get these clips off for at least the connectors from off of the coil pack, which is difficult. But first, I forgot to state that there are two Torx screws, one right here and the other one right here. I'm sorry, I would give you a better view, but it's like you guys complain about free work anyway, so what the hell am I gonna go the extra mile for doing all of this extra shit and then nobody don't even tip or whatever? It's like a few people sent money to my Cash App, like nicely, from YouTube, and then the rest of the people will like ignorantly leave a comment and complain about what they think should be done in the video. Or some people ask, hey, can you do this video? Hey, can you do X, Y, and Z or whatever? And no one ever talks about, hey man, this guy saved me hundreds of dollars. You guys always express, hey, you guys, you saved me so much money. You saved me so much money, but then you never tip the waiter. You never tip the waiter, but you express to me and brag how I saved you money, but you never brag and express how, yeah, because he saved me hundreds of dollars or a couple $1,000s, I went ahead and I tipped to him. Never. That's how ignorant a lot of people are, like, you know, on YouTube. So it is what it is. So for that, the way I do my videos is the way I do my videos. You don't like the way I do my videos, you can kick rocks. That's just how it is. You're gonna need a pick, a precision pick, whatever type of pick you got, as long as it's got like an angle on it. Because we're gonna get up inside of the connector in the front part of it and lift up that that plastic latch that latches onto the coil pack. You could use your fingernails and press down on it and pull away. You will hear it like pop or crack or whatever, and it's either one or two things happening. It's either the tab released or the tab broke. And because I don't want to break the tab, because these tabs do break. These are known for breaking on German cars. These weird pressing tabs to release the connector. So I like to take a pick, get in front of it. As soon as I hear it pop, boom. Now being as though I already had this out before, I only had to release one, and the rest of them came out. And then now I can get all of the coil packs out. 1, 2, and what do we say? 3. Now that you got the coil packs out, make sure you inspect the coil pack each one, because if the boot itself is like wet with oil, then we know that you need to replace the cam covers, gaskets, and yeah, that's exactly what you need to do, because they're leaking. At least the tube seals are leaking for the most part. But yeah, check inside of your cylinders with a flashlight, 1, 2, 3 on this side. Make sure it ain't wet with oil either, but you'll know if it's wet with oil if the coil pack itself, when you pulled it out, the boot was wet with oil. So this type of job works out because you could do the cam covers, spark plugs, and the coil packs all in one shot. But I need to go get a flashlight, because that's what I need to go get. Ahora esta parte aquí es muy importante. La mano derecha es una parte para quitar la bujía del cilindro, y sin esta, para ti será muy difícil para quitarla. Y yo tengo un problema, no hay una cosa, una pieza adentro para quitarla suficiente, y por eso tengo un imán para ayudarme con eso. My fault getting in my Spanish bag is, I can't help it because I don't like talking in English all day, so that's how I spend, es como pasó mi día así, hablando por mí mismo, solamente mí mismo aquí, lo siento. But I love Spanish, like I love Spanish, like really, really good. So I make it part of my life to learn Spanish, and I've been studying Spanish now for 11 months now, and I've got nothing but compliments from like a lot of native speakers, because they said the way I learned it extremely fast in comparison with like people like from my country, en comparación con las personas de mi país aquí en los Estados Unidos. Es el proceso en el principio será muy difícil para ti porque hay muchas cosas para aprender, específicamente las conjugaciones son difíciles así y por eso yo me gusto, o lo siento, me gusta para aprender, específicamente en la mañana, durante mi descanso de día, a mi trabajo y por la noche también. Y al mismo tiempo tengo muchísimos amigos de Latinoamérica y por eso yo creo que el proceso para mí me fue muy bien, muy bien. Alright, so that's the last one. So since I don't have that rubber thing inside the tool, I'm gonna pull these out. And get the last one. And there's no need to I'm not gonna get into details. Don't buy no damn auto lights. Stop. Everybody gotta learn, and I gotta encourage everybody to spend more money on their car. I know everybody wanna save money, but you can't just be putting anything in your car. It doesn't work like that. So for that, if I can get into my box, I'm sorry, my pockets, mis bolsillos de mi abrigo. Hay otro. O algo así. No puedo encontrarlo, un momento. Alright, so again, please do not go with auto lights. I got the Bosch brand, which is like $2 cheaper than like NGK a little bit or whatever. I think it was more than that probably. I'm not sure. These are the better ones, double platinum, and these are pre-gap, which means you don't have to gap them. Safely drop them into the cylinder. Some guys like literally like ram them in there. Just do that. And make sure too you match up your spark plugs. Make sure they're the same size, depth, and all of that or whatever. Because some guys at the parts store don't know what they're doing, which this looks like. And I'm going to get them tightened. Now I like to tighten it. This is how I like to tighten it. You ain't got to like, it's not necessary to crank it hard. So as soon as it stops, give it a quarter turn, and maybe just a little bit, because sometimes with the engine, the compression from the engine, I've worked on cars where the spark plugs backed out on its own naturally. Go slowly, because sometimes going too fast, stuff will break. I had an incident when I was younger, and I used an air ratchet, and obviously it's stronger than the electric ratchet, and it broke the porcelain on the spark plug. When I say the porcelain on the spark plug, this thing right here, and it's like ceramic glass or some shit like that, and it went inside of the cylinder hole, and there was a few pieces, because we had a bore scope and we looked at it on the camera, and there was a few pieces that was stuck on the top of the cylinder. So it was able to blow a little bit out, just a little bit, but some other pieces stayed in there. But obviously the engine ran cool, and I'm pretty sure it came out of the exhaust valves and probably sitting right in front of the filter inside of the catalytic converter. So crank that a little bit more, and then I'm going to get the last one. All right, that's it. Don't over crank it. Then here's the fun part. AutoZone sells a 6-pack of ignition coils that you could buy at a decent price. When you dealing with like German cars, and if you can get a deal on a pack of 6, just so you can save you in the future for having to replace them again, just do everything in one shot, so you ain't got to worry about it again. So the part number for this is C1631-6, and then the part numbers for the double platinum spark plugs are, if I can rotate this box and like read it good, I don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm sorry. It's FR5KPP332S. That's that. And I'll leave descriptions and you know, of everything, the part numbers in the description, obviously. So I'm gonna open up the box and put them in there. Just drop them in there. It's nothing to like think about too hard. It means exactly what I said. Just drop them in there. Match them up. Make sure they look right, which they do, and that I did already. Drop them into the cylinder. Then these connectors for the coil packs, they go on together simultaneously because one by one is hard. So press them coil pack down into the cylinder until you feel it bottom out on a spark plug. You'll feel it. It feels like it bottomed out on a hard surface. And then you get these connectors in, and you'll hear them click in. Some of them might be silent, which is this one, but just give it a tug and make sure it don't. Here we go, that one's in. Push that. That helps if you push the tab back up on there, the locking tab. And next, going to put these torque screws in here, which is 2. And these screws are important because this prevents in case the spark plug do decide to back out. I'm sorry, the coil pack decide to back out on its own. You good to go. You can go ahead and I don't know what the hell I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is, before I had messed up, this basically prevents the spark. I'm sorry. These 2 torques prevent the coil packs or the connectors for the coil packs from backing off on its own, and you don't want that to happen, because I've seen it happen. People don't install these, then they come back at a later date or something like that, and their car running funny, and they're like, oh, I just got this, yeah, you didn't put those screws back in. So that's important. Next, I can put in the air box now, and then we're gonna proceed to the other side. All right, my fault, y'all. I went ahead and completed the driver's side, which is really easy. If you take this, looks like you can use a T30 for this, T27. I didn't have I guess I got my T30 in the shop. I didn't feel like looking for it. So actually, I'm sorry, T25. I used the T20 and it worked perfectly. Get this reservoir out the way and you'll be able to access all 3 coil packs, no problem. So let me fire it up, make sure everything's sturdy. Good. There's no problem. I get the spark plug socket out of there. There's no problem. It was cool before. It was running rough. It was putting, and you can tell it was a misfire. This time when I sat in it, and I didn't feel a misfire, so everything Gucci. But let's get this out of here. Also, he got some smoke coming from the back of the valve cover. Not the valve cover. I'm sorry. There's a rear timing covers. Both of them are leaking. He did last year replace the valve cover gaskets on both cam covers. But I guess I'm going to note that to him because he already asked me about it, so I'm going to just tell him your back timing cover, they leaking the back timing cover. And it looked like it just take RTD sealing. But let's talk about my truck. So maybe like almost a month ago, I got in an accident. And I'll explain to you once I get everything. One was broken, and I need to get into detail. So what had happened was I got issues with the rear brakes, and I already knew about this issue. This was like nothing new or nothing like that. So when it's raining, it's not best to like hit the brakes, like slam on it, because it'll lock the back brakes up. And I knew it was always an issue with the back brakes locking up, and I never did anything about it. It's totally my fault. But I spun out 3 times in this truck before, different occasions. One when the ground was wet, which is easier for it to happen, and then the other 2 when the ground was dry. But you can't hit like the brake hard. You can't hit it hard. I mean, not like hit it hard enough for it to slam, but hit it so you can come to an abrupt stop. Like not like to make the brake skid. That's not the goal to stop. It's just so you can stop a little quicker than normal. And I already had pre-existing issues with I will probably go through a set of pads 3 times in a year. 3 times in a year, which is absolutely horrible. And I replaced everything in the braking system. All the brake hoses, brake booster, brake master cylinder, put new brake lines in, and new calipers in there too, and still got an issue, whatever. But it happened. So I was driving, and someone and only thing I did was that I remember doing. All I did was just to go grab my phone. I didn't even text nobody or nothing like that. I just grabbed my phone so I can turn the volume up or change the song or something like that or whatever. Because that's mostly what I do when I drive anyway, just play my music or whatever. And all I know was when I went to go do that, and I'm traveling at probably a little bit faster than 40 miles per hour or whatever. And that's not even like, that's fast, but that's not fast compared to like 80 miles per hour or like 60 or whatever. So the person in front of me, to my knowledge, looked like they were trying to make a left turn onto a road, but it looked like, I don't know if you was about to miss your turn or something like that, so they hit the brakes hard. So when I went to go grab my phone and I saw them like hit the brakes hard, because I had distance, I had space in front of me, is I can't help it. I turned for like a second just to grab, just a fraction of a second. I went to go grab my phone. A person punched on their brake to make that turn, and when I hit, like I punched on my brake too or whatever, like the way they did, my rear brakes locked up. But the, you know, it just got finished. Like I think it was drizzling that day. It was raining, but throughout the night, but it was a little drizzling like in the morning or whatever. So the ground was a little bit more slippier, and all I know is, and it don't help that my tires was like low in tread too, so it's a lot of factors that played in this. So what I was trying to say is, instead of, I was like, I knew I was going into a slide because I wasn't slowing down fast, back brakes were like locking up, so I didn't want to hit the person in front of me, so I maneuvered out of the way to the right. So me maneuvering out of the way to the right, this car is like easily you can easily like rock this car like it's a boat basically. It's not easily rocket, but what I'm trying to say is, this thing is it could be flipped over, and it doesn't take that much to flip this car over in an accident. So I'm feeling like I swerved out of the way, I remember, and then I'm like I can't stop, I have no control, what's gonna happen? I'm saying that in my head. So as I'm like veering into like it was like a rail, guardrail, and then there was like a electric pole, and I don't know what I was trying to do, if I was trying to sneak past it in between to get into the fields, and I was going to slow down in the grass area, but that didn't even like work. All I know is I remember closing my eyes for a second when I lost control, because I didn't know what, I didn't know if I was going to die, I didn't know what was going to happen. All I know is, Leek, it's over. So I closed my eyes for a second, and next thing you know, like when I felt like the first smack that I heard, I opened up my eyes real quick, and then like obviously this happened, you know, the guardrail hit this door, I believe, and I could have sworn everything happened in the back. That's what it felt like, but it happened all right here. So when I hit the guardrail, it slammed into the pole. Like I don't know how that happened. It slammed into, I don't have no exact recollection of how it happened exactly. I can just explain to you my best of knowledge, because for like a little bit I did black out a little bit. Like this, I don't know what the hell happened, but I don't know, I thought I was gonna die. I closed my eyes, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4 windows broke. I felt like the glass shattering in the back of my neck or whatever. It's like all this glass like fragments in the seat. I had like glass in my clothes. I was spitting glass out of my mouth and shit. It was like little pieces of glass out of my mouth. I don't know how the hell that happened if it was behind me, but yeah, this truck is done, and it's just nothing else to talk about. I'm glad like nothing like serious like happened to me. I mean, I was sore like all on my whole left side, because obviously that's where I got like you know like beat up a little bit on that side. So other than that, and my nose was bleeding a little bit. My face was swollen for like a couple days, but it went down like really fast. And in my I was up close to the steering wheel. I don't know why I did that, but I didn't even have my seatbelt on. But I did this, like grab the steering wheel or whatever. All I know is when I felt like the first bang or something like that, I like try to brace myself. I don't know why I thought like the steering wheel was like the oh shit bar or something like that. But like my cheekbone like boom, like smacked like the steering wheel just like that. So it happened so fast I really can't even explain it. But I'm here, that's all that matters. Now the truck does run, engine and transmission is still cool. I do got plans to like take it out, maybe save it for like some random future project in the future, or maybe I can flip another truck, buy another truck. I already got my engine, I'll just take the engine and trans out, put it in, bam, just like that. And once I get the engine and trans out, this bad boy is gone. Maybe I'll try to part out a few things, I don't know exactly, but it is what it is. But let me show you what I got from Copart. Now this chumpy right here is a 2003 Chevy Silverado 2500 6 liter with the 4L80, which is of my preference. And it's a clean title. I know I said I got it from Copart, but it's a clean title. And I don't, personal cars, I don't drive salvage cars. get a clean title. Coparts do sell clean title cars. So the price I bought this truck for was, it was on a check now, which meaning there's a difference. You can have on approval. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said check now. I meant to say on approval. So most sales I usually play with will be a pure sale, which is you get the truck for what it goes for. Or you could get, this truck wasn't on approved sale, but actually they were selling this truck. I want to buy it now for like $800, but after fees it took me to like $1,200. So this truck I won on it was supposed to have been on approval, but I won it for the lot for $800. And there were other people trying to like get it, but you know, it had a mechanical issue, which the Suburban had a mechanical issue when I first got it. And I already knew about that. That's how I buy my work trucks or whatever, obviously. So I won the lot for $800, but then the owner who was selling the car, I guess it was like another used car lot that put the truck into the auction. And like I said, it had a mechanical issue. And I wanted the lot for $800, but he sent me a counter offer for $2,500. That's what he wanted for the truck. And I'm like, I'm not paying that for the truck. It is what it is. I chalk it as a loss. So I waited like 4 days or something like that, and they sent me like a reminder or something like that or whatever. Like I went to go, I counted the offer and I said I'll just do $900. And then within a few minutes they replied back and then said I won a lot, so accepted the $900. So after fees, which Copart like to add all these unnecessary fees, which I don't know exactly what they for. Everybody always sells something for a price and then throw their extra fees. It's just like an extra way to like F somebody over basically. But I paid, after fees was like $1,360 or something like that. I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but that's what I paid. And then Copart delivered to me for $70, and they're pretty cheap on like delivery and everything. You get a good deal, and it all depends on your distance and where you live at. So they told it for me for like $70, so that was cool. So let's break down the side of the truck. So this truck came with like work boxes, which I don't want them. I could use them, but obviously this truck, between the ladder rack, someone was using this from some type of like construction business, and I don't know what this group is or whatever, and look like obviously they got a picture of a house, so they do stuff with houses basically. So I have no use for the ladder rack, so I'm going to take the ladder rack down, and I'm going to take these work boxes, storage boxes down. I don't have no use for that either. And then, excuse me, I had to burp. And then it needs to get repaired, like right here, like the beam in the middle. But obviously it could get rewelded. Looks like somebody already rewelded. It's nothing new. I got somebody who wants to buy this off me for $180 or $175. $180 I'm selling them both sides together. I don't want them. Other than that, I probably would have got rid of them. But since I know I can make money off them, I'm gonna sell them. And a ladder rack I'm gonna take off and probably try to like restore it, like paint it over and everything, and sell that for some money too. I'll figure out how much I'm gonna get it for. But let's open up the interior. Now the interior was clean. I had my boy clean this out for me. He did a pretty good job, and I know he's not done. He's got to do some stuff and put this trimming back together. And that's like awkward. Some random condoms just sitting there. He must have found that under the seat. He cleaned this up really good. And one thing I like about this truck is that it's not like carpet in the inside. It has like that rubber lining, which means that that's good in case I get like mud, water, snow, whatever the issue is. Like it's not going to go past the carpet or nothing. I can easily like wick that out or whatever. But he cleaned it up pretty good. I got a back bench in here, which I can have my son in here. This truck will hold total of 6 people, 3 in the front, 3 in the back. So this is like pretty good. This back window was broken, which I already knew about that one before I bought the truck, which is not a problem because I could just get another one on the part out on Facebook Market. And then this headliner is no good either. I'm not worrying about that either because I'm pretty sure actually I should just take the headliner out and deck it out like how the Volkswagen dudes do and put something cool like some cartoonish or Spider-Man-ish or something like that. I don't know exactly, but it's a plan. And this truck was like had like mice poop and stuff or whatever, but my boy's gonna take care. He took care of it, actually cleaned it up real good. He's got to do a few more things to it and get behind the glove box. I'm gonna see if I don't even know if this truck got a cabin filter. We're gonna see if it got one, but whatever. We're gonna pull it out and see what I can do. And I'm gonna pull the blower motor out because rodents like to live in the blower motor or whatever. Pull it out, and I'm gonna bomb the truck. Don't stink or nothing like that. It did before because he cleaned it out. It doesn't stink. So I'm gonna purify the HVAC system up in here, which is not a problem because the HVAC system in the truck, the Suburban, when I got it, it was like a little like dusty or whatever. It took a little minute for that dust to like start coming out or whatever, but it's an older truck. It happens. And the engine knocks in this too. When I said knocks, it knocks, and I don't have a problem with that. I'm gonna buy another 6-liter engine, and I can probably get a 6-liter engine for like between $1,100-$1,200, and which is pretty fair for a 6.0. And for me, it's probably a 1 or 2 day job, unless I'm running into problems with like a lot of rust or whatever. But it's a job. It is what it is. But I'm happy with my purchase. Little stuff that I gotta like do to this is not bad at all. I mean, it's an older truck, it's a 2500, and the reason I wanted a 2500 is because, I guess the bed is, I don't know if the bed is normal size. I think it's extended, but I don't think it's like a long bed. But it's not like it's not a short bed, but it's regular. I probably already saw it. Let me know what you think it is. I think it's just a regular extended bed, but I don't think it's like the long bed, basically like the 8-foot bed. This one looked like a little bit like 6.5 feet, probably. I don't know exactly. But the reason I wanted a 2500 truck is because the Suburban is a 1500, which is the payload. The payload on this is $2,500. We're not talking, 2,500 pounds. We're not talking about like towing or whatever. Towing is a different situation, because this can tow a little bit past 10,000 pounds, which the Suburban can probably do about like up to 7, if I can remember, 7 or 8, but I think it's about 7,000 pounds, like combined or whatever. But the payload, what it can hold inside of the car, basically, or inside of the bed, that's why it's the difference between 1,500, which is the half ton, and you got the 2,500, which is 3/4 tons. So I prefer a 3/4 ton, especially for when I'm towing, because the Suburban got leaf springs. No, I'm sorry. Coil springs in the back. Solid beam axle, obviously, but with coil springs in the back. This truck has leaf springs, and the suspension is more rugged, more sturdier, and I hated when a Suburban sagged when I had a full-size trailer on it. And then on top of that, the 4L60 is not a good transmission to be like hauling cars or doing anything like heavy. I mean, it's cool if you want to do like a tow dolly, like a 2-wheel dolly, and you hook it up just like that. But anything more, eat your brakes, eat the gas. Obviously you got more weight, and it's a gas, so that doesn't help like this is any better, but at the end of the day, this is more powerful. But my main concern was towing cars, and I had to like rebuild my transmission in the Suburban twice, and the same clutches blow, which is the 3 and 4th gear clutch, and it always happened from me towing a lot, and I towed a shit ton in the Suburban. But it's cool because I got a 3/4 ton and I got a 2500, and this is going to be one of the trucks that I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to take my time with it, put it together. I'm not going to rush it just to get back on the road. I got other priorities and other things to do, responsibilities and stuff, but at least I was able to get this truck because I felt like it was an opportunity, and I probably wouldn't have got like this opportunity again. It is what it is. And the bed has a liner in it. The liner is not even like bad at all, which is like pretty good. I don't feel like getting into like the details or whatever, but because it's going to turn into like a long video, so that's that. So I'm Leekautorepair. Make sure you guys hit the like button, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I know I said I was going to start doing like travel videos and stuff, which I am, but I changed my mind, which I'm always doing. I'm always all over the place, so I'm going to try to integrate my car videos with my travel videos, and it is what it is. And I'll be heading out in a few weeks. I'm flying out again, and we're not going to talk about details until we get there, but actually when the time gets closer to it, like coming for me to leave out, we're going to start talking about it. But for the most part, I got to work, I got to grind, I got responsibilities, I got stuff to do, I got stuff to pay for, and get that out the way, and then we're going to go have some fun. So make sure you guys hit the like button, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the description, leave it in my email, leekautorepair@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram too, at Leekautorepair. Everything is at Leekautorepair. Cash App, Leekautorepair. Venmo, Leekautorepair. Everything's Leekautorepair.